Hi, welcome. I'm Erin, and this is a caregiver's compass. So, thank you for joining me today. Today, I want to talk a little bit about my why I started the channel, the reasoning behind it, or should I say, the person behind it. So, you saw in my thumbnail, I said, who is this person and why should you care, right? So, I'm going to dive into that today. But if you're new here to the channel, thank you so much and welcome. And I have a video that I'd like to recommend for you maybe later on, if you don't mind, because I think we have some pretty good stuff here on the channel. So it'd be great if you subscribed as well. And those who have been around for a little while, maybe this is not your first rodeo here, right? You've seen other videos. Thank you. I hope this will fill in maybe some gaps or give you a little more insight, right? And we're going to put a face to the name. So let's get started. So usually when in my videos, I'll say like, oh, and I've been a caregiver for over 10 years, right? To create um, credibility. I know what I'm talking about, I guess, somewhat, right? So I do always do that. But I don't think I've ever shared with you like who, I guess I've said it's my mom, right? I've said that before. Okay, so I have done that. But you don't know anything about her. I think I'm trying to think of the first video that I even put a picture of her in. And I don't know if anybody caught it, but it was just a real quick little B-roll in there that I snuck in a picture of her. So today I wanted to like share a few more pictures of her, give you a little more insight into her, and then how I became, what situation came about, life changing, basically, situation that came about that changed our roles and our lives altogether, right? Turned them upside down. And if you're a caregiver, you probably understand. So let's go back to the 1940s. We've got a single girl, 18, pregnant, not married, going across the state line to have her baby. And then some story is made up by the grandparents, and they're going to adopt this baby girl. So that's the beginning of my mom's story. So I won't go into a whole lot more detail than that. They're Wisconsin, Minnesota, raised, born, family moved out here to California. She thinks her mother is her sister. I know it gets crazy wacky. Doesn't find out until high school that that's really her mom. Kind of, throws her for a curve, right? So it kind of answers some questions. Then gets pregnant herself at 17, gets married, has 3 kids total, lives in California for the rest of her life, stay at home mom, raising her kids, and goes to work at a public school when the youngest one starts school. So she can still be home when we're home, but can have a part time job and have some of her own money to spend. And she does that for 30 years because she loves it. And when she retired, she was very sad. That was kind of her whole identity, and she just loved it. Loved her teachers, loved her kids, and but she also loves her cats. And at one time, we had 13 cats in the house, and I don't like to tell a lot of people that. It's not something I'm like very proud of, but that's how come she got called the crazy cat lady. So that answers that for you. And she has 2 granddaughters that she just adores. And what else can I tell you? She is retired, of course, now. And then back in 2013, I guess we'll get to the point how this all started as far as caregiving. She had a blood clot on the back of her brain. I came home one day from work and something I knew was wrong. She was drooling all over. She had looked like she bit her tongue, her lip. She was very talking incoherently, kept saying she wanted to throw up, but she didn't throw up. So called the paramedics anyways, long story short, got her to the hospital, got her to emergency, did a CT scan, found a big old blood clot back there, put her in a helicopter, flew her down to San Diego to a teaching hospital there, put her in a medically induced coma. She was in that for like 5 days. Um, in the total hospital time was like 9 days. Came home, basically was never the same. Came home with a walker, um, very unsure of herself, decided that they thought maybe she'd had a seizure, so she doesn't drive anymore. We didn't renew her license that year, and basically decided that she can't be alone. I mean, she can have bouts of time, like I go to work, so that seems to be okay, but nothing overnight because of the fact that she doesn't drive and her mobility is very precarious, I would say, with her walker and that, even with the walker, her mobility is very precarious. She doesn't have a lot of stamina. Um, anyways, I'm not trying to paint, of it such a bad picture, but that's the situation. And so from that point on, from 2013, I became her caregiver. And so that's the story. I mean, so really, I just wanted to, and you'll see, I've put in some pictures of various stages of her life, and that we just had a big 80th birthday party for her in December of 2023. So depending on when you're watching this video, just to give you some perspective, and that was really nice. So for her being 80, I, for the most part, can't really complain because I'm in a couple of Facebook groups, and um, there's, everybody's journey is different. I'll just say that, right? So there's no comparing in it or anything, but there is a certain amount of commonality, I guess, with being a caregiver. So, but as I said, everybody's journey is different. Luckily, she doesn't have a lot of memory issues or that. I sometimes just have to say, Mom, don't you remember? And sometimes I think some of that is that it's not that she doesn't remember. I think is that she doesn't hear me. And so she can't answer me or recall because she didn't really hear me in the first place for her to be able to remember it, right? So that's that. I wanted to give you a little history, and then also how the caregiving um, scenario came to be, and how it's different with two women in the house. We're both strong-willed, both pretty stubborn. It needs to be our way, and it's tough for her to give up that matriarch, I think, status, and kind of have the roles flipped, where now I feel like a parent, and she probably feels like, you're treating me like a child, right? So that's very different. And but other fellow caregivers, you will understand, right? Okay, so that's it for today. I know nothing earth shattering, and I don't really have anything to pass along to you. I'm sorry, but hopefully these pictures and that will help, and you'll have a face to go with the name, and now you know what I'm referring to when I talk about my mom and how 10 years ago, or 2013, I became a caregiver. Okay, and for those of you who are new here, as I mentioned, I would recommend this video here next for you. It's a good one on motivation, because normally my videos do have some kind of a real, I don't want to say it like this doesn't have a purpose, but it has more of a there we're talking about something, and I'm going to give you some action plans, right? Or a call to action, or some kind of an assignment, or something to maybe check out, that type of thing. But this one isn't that today, friends. It's just let's have a conversation and share some information about each other, and just get to know each other better. All right. All right, my friends. Thanks for watching. And don't forget, you newbies or those who have been around for a while, if you haven't seen this one about motivation, check it out. All right. Till the next time, my friends. Bye.